What's going on, Caspa Moon Boys and girls? Today we're to go over Caspa, which is down 1.3% at 17 cents. We're at a $4.2 billion market cap here with a circulating supply of 23 billion out of 28 billion. Majority of the coins are in circulation, which is fantastic. It means they can't dilute the market on you by putting a huge amount more into circulation. All-time high was 12 hours ago. Congratulations. You're down 6.9% from that. All-time low was 2 years ago. If you would have bought 2 years ago, you would not be watching this video. You'd be sitting on the beach, drinking out of a coconut or whatever you do. Kaspa is currently available on the following markets. There's 3 different pages here. You have Gate.io, BingX, Bybit, Mexi, KuCoin, CoinX, so on and so forth. So with that, let's get into the price prediction and technical analysis on KAS. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into KAS here. We're gonna be looking at the day chart, and we're actually gonna do a little bit different type of TA but today. We're gonna kind of draw like a parabola and stuff like that, kind of get a little bit more artsy with the chartsy today. I guess you could say. But if you look at the day chart, nice engulfing candle today. We didn't put in that large of an engulfing candle, but it was still larger than yesterday. But what we want to focus on now is, what does this mean? Does this mean that the bullish movement is starting to weaken a little bit? Because normally when you don't get that large of an engulfing candle to the prior day, similar to what happened here on May 11th, the bullish momentum starts dwindling down a little bit, which, I mean, you did just put in a new all-time high. So it is what it is. If you look at the RSI is starting to see a pullback as well. Hopefully it's not indicative of these last two, because this is a high, a low, lower high, lower low. This would be a lower high right here. And then you could see a correction like that. But we are starting to enter the parabolic phase of the bull run. So hopefully that's not the case. Another indicator on the day chart, we did get a sell signal here on the 30th of May, but good thing you ignored that because we shot straight up. We have not gotten a secondary sell signal yet. So I'm not going to be calling for a large correction until we see that sell signal come in and then see how these other two indicators are playing out. Now, what I want to draw here, let's see if I can find the correct tool, is a parabola. Now, I really don't know where that tool is here, so I'm just going to use I'm just going to use my marker. So what we currently are experiencing right now is arc curve, here we go, is a parabola where you draw from here to here, and then you kind of drag it up, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. The parabola, you get your high, your low, your high, your low. It's just diminishing returns. As the market cap gets higher, you don't pump as hard, right? Because it takes a lot more buying power to move the coin. So that being said, right here, when we enter the hyperbolic phase of the bull run, obviously we're going to smash right through this, but we have to start moving. We have to start breaking through this parabola here pretty soon. Now, for KAS, in the meantime, we did wake up to a new all-time high, but long behold, it was just very, very minimal above the prior high, which is kind of concerning to me, because if you draw a horizontal line right here, that could possibly be indicative of a double top coming in, a one top, two top, before we see a correction on KAS. Now, I'm not trying to be bearish here. I'm just deciphering the charts a little bit. Now, what we really want to look at here is the fibs from this high. And I believe we normally chart, we can draw several different fibs on this. Let's just draw several different fibs on this. Our first one's going to be from this high to the low, this high to this low right here. And you can see the importance of that 786 area at about 13 cents. I know that's a pretty nasty drop from where we're currently at, but that 13 cents was a pretty big support going back to March. And it was a pretty big resistance going back throughout the whole month of April and beginning, or April, May, and June, before we finally overtook that area. The cool part about that 786 area is that is the main price volume as well. You see the price volume cloud right here. There's that's the peak of it right there. That's where most of the volume is. So if we did happen to go down there, I would say 13.8 would be the bottom, and that could be the rally that we need to start pushing up. So if these indicators do continue to play out as being overbought and we do see a correction on KAS, it's most likely going to correct back down to around 13.85, and then you can see that continual push up. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're not hyper bullish until we get out of this parabola. Let's see how far back I have to go to actually get there. So we're not hyper bullish until we get out of this parabola. So what we could be experiencing here is, oh my gosh, what we could be experiencing here in KAS is a pullback to around that 3.8 area. And then that could be the push that we need to break out of this curve that we're currently experiencing. Now, if we look at the short-term time frame, we can get a little bit more information on the momentum of the chart. on a day-to-day basis or a short-term basis. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame right now, the 4-hour time frame's actually way overbought. This is calling for a pretty large correction right here. Not to be bearish, just deciphering the chart. We just crossed over bearish here on the MACD. We put in a red candle on the 4-hour chart after being extremely bullish. We weren't this bullish on the MACD since March of 2021. So on top of that, the RSI, this is the highest the RSI has ever been for CAS. And it's flashing red. When it's flashing red, saying, hey, might be a good time to take some profit. And on top of that, we did get a very deep off the chart sell signal, the highest sell signal we ever gotten on the WTX as well. So I would be looking for that slight pullback here on CAS. Now, you do have micro support and resistances on the way down, but what I want to point out here is the price volume cloud right here. What we're currently experiencing is support here at the peak of the top price volume cloud at about 17.6. That is our first line of support. Second line of support is the 786 at 16.8. And then you can see the price volume cloud kind of dies out right here, which means there's a price volume gap. Now, what happens when you enter a price volume gap? You move through that area rather quickly. Now, if we look back here to see the price volume gap, as soon as we broke above that 618, we got sucked straight up to the 786. So what we're currently going to be looking for here is if we happen to break below that 786 at 16.8, that's going to suck us down to 15 cents at this, or 786. That's going to suck us down to around 15 cents at the 618. So in the meantime, I do think CAS is going to be experiencing a slight pullback. This could be the last decent correction that we see for CAS until we start going absolutely parabolic. Now, we've been bullish on this coin since May 1st. Well, we've been bullish on this coin for a long time, but we actually started this uptrend on May 1st, putting in higher highs and higher lows. So regardless on if we go down to the 618 right here, that still be putting in a higher low, and you still would be maintaining your bullish momentum that you've had since May 1st. So I really wouldn't be too concerned about that. Honestly, you can come all the way back down here to the main price volume cloud at 13.9 and still put in a higher low and still maintain your bullish momentum. But regardless, once we see some sort of large run and break out of this parabola, the next stop for CAS would be around 25 cents. So eventually we'll get there. There's 3 different indicators. Pick your poison, write them down. 786 is at 16.8. 618 is at 15, and then the worst case scenario is 13.9 to 14 cents. But I do think CAS is going to be experiencing a pullback. Congratulations on the wick to the new all-time high. I just don't think CAS has the juice in it right now to continue blasting through that all-time high in the price discovery mode. The day chart's a little hot, the 4 hours extremely hot. We're just gonna have to see a slight correction right here and then to infinity and beyond. Now, how high do I think CAS can go in the bull run? Like the very top? Anyone's guess. Go shake your magic 8 ball and ask it. But if you were going to use technical analysis, what you do is you drop from the high to the low right here. And CAS does have a 1618 up here at around $9-10. So I'd be looking out for that. There is a possibility that CAS could go to $9 to $10 for this bull run top, which would bring this to a multi-billion-dollar market cap, which coins tend to do. Coins go to 80+ billion-dollar market caps in the bull run before they see a larger correction. So would I say $10 is on the table? I mean, it's likely, not likely, but it's there. You have a fill up there at the 1618. So I'd be keeping an eye on, you have the 1236 at 86 cents, and then your blow off top could bring you up to $8, $8 to $10. But I wouldn't be banking on that. I would start taking profits, once you got above $1. Not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion right there. But in the meantime, we're at a $4 billion market cap. We wicked above a new all-time high, and I think we're just going to be experiencing a slight correction before we hopefully smash out of here and start going into that price discovery mode. So with that, none of this is financial advice. And if there's any coins you'd like me to chart, you can just send me a super chat in the comments and I'll get to your coin as soon as possible. Thank you.